ਹੈਲੋ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ, ਬੇਟਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ 20 ਜਨਵਰੀ 2023 ਨੂੰ ਹੋਇਆ ਪ੍ਰੀ ਬੋਰਡ ਦਾ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਦਾ ਪੇਪਰ ਸੋਲਵ। ਸੋ ਫਰਸਟ ਪਾਰਟ A, question number 1 to 17 MCQs. ਪਹਿਲਾ question, here Zn reacts with CuSO4 to give ZnSO4 and Cu. The question is the chemical reaction is an example of which type of reaction? चार options ने बेटा, the right answer is displacement reaction. Second question, a solution turns blue litmus red, its pH is, ਇੱਥੇ ਬੇਟਾ ਚਾਰ ਆਪਸ਼ਨਸ ਚੋਂ ਤਿੰਨ ਸਹੀ ਨੇ, ਸੋ ਤਿੰਨਾਂ ਚੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਮਾਰਕ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੂਰੇ ਮਾਰਕਸ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ। ਸੋ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਮਾਰਕ 1, 4 or 5. Which type, third question, which type of medicine is used for the treatment of indigestion? एंटीसेप्टिक, एंटासिड, एंटीबायोटिक एंड एनाल्जेसिक। इन्हां चो सही आंसर है बेटा एंटासिड। फोर्थ क्वेश्चन, विच मैथड प्रोटेक्ट्स द आयरन पैन फ्रॉम रस्टिंग? बेटा आयरन नू रस्टिंग तो बचाने वास्ते आपां इन्हां तिन्नों ऑप्शनस चो कोई भी सही तरीका अपना सकते हैं तो आंसर ऑल हुंदा, बट इत्थे क्वेश्चन दे विच है आयरन पैन। सो आयरन पैन एक किचन दे विच यूज़ किया जाने वाला बर्तन है, सो आपां उहनूं ग्रीस नहीं कर सकते, ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੇਂਟ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪੇਂਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਖਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਉਤਰ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਸੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਕ ਪਲੇਟਿੰਗ। ਸੋ ਸਹੀ ਆਨਸਰ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ, ਜ਼ਿੰਕ ਪਲੇਟਿੰਗ। ਫਿਫਥ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ, ਦ ਅਨਨੋਨ ਫਾਰਮੂਲਾ ਆਫ ਇਥੀਨ ਹੈਜ਼ C2H4 ਕੋਵੈਲੈਂਟ ਬੌਂਡਸ। ਸੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਕੋਵੈਲੈਂਟ ਬੌਂਡਸ ਹੋਣਗੀਆਂ ਬੱਚੇ? 6। ਨੈਕਸਟ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ, ਵਿਚ ਸੀਕੁਐਂਸ ਸ਼ੋਜ਼ ਮੈਟੈਲਿਕ ਕਰੈਕਟਰ? ਬੇਟਾ ਮੈਟੈਲਿਕ ਕਰੈਕਟਰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਆਊਟਰ ਸ਼ੈਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 4 ਤੋਂ ਘੱਟ ਇਲੈਕਟ੍ਰੋਨਸ ਹੋਣ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਮੈਟੈਲਿਕ ਕਰੈਕਟਰ ਸ਼ੋ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਹੇਅਰ ਰਾਈਟ ਆਂਸਰ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ B, 282। सेवन्थ क्वेश्चन, इज देयर न्यूट्रिशन इन ग्रीन प्लांट्स? यस, न्यूट्रिशन कौन सा होंगे ग्रीन प्लांट्स के विच? ऑटोट्रॉफिक न्यूट्रिशन। बी ऑप्शन करेक्ट है। सेवन्थ क्वेश्चन, किडनीज आर अ पार्ट ऑफ विच सिस्टम इन ह्यूमन बींग्स? द आंसर इज एक्सक्रीशन, एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम का पार्ट है किडनीज। नाइन्थ क्वेश्चन, वट इज द स्पेस बिटवीन टू वैस्कुलर सेल्स कॉल्ड? द आंसर इज साइनैप्स। क्वेश्चन नंबर 10, विच क्रोमोसोम डज अ गर्ल गेट फ्रॉम हर फादर? बेटा जिद्दां कि तुहानूं पता ही है गर्ल उदों ही गर्ल चाइल्ड होंदी है जदों एक्स क्रोमोसोम आते हैं फादर तो, और मदर तो भी एक्स आते हैं, सो गर्ल बिकम्स XX। इत्थे आपां नूं क्वेश्चन पूछिया गर्ल गेट्स फ्रॉम हर फादर, शी गेट्स एन एक्स फ्रॉम हर फादर। नैक्सट क्वेश्चन इज एग्जाम्पल ऑफ होमोलोगस ऑर्गन्स। चार ऑप्शंस ने बेटा, यू कैन सी हेयर ह्यूमन एंड एलीफेंट टीथ, ये भी होमोलोगस हुंदे ने। पोटैटो एंड ग्रास स्प्रिंग्स, ये भी होमोलोगस होंदे ने। our hands and front legs of dog, this is also an example of homologous organ। so answer लिखांगे ਆਪਾਂ D, all the above। next question, who established the relation sin I upon R? ਇਹਦਾ आंसर होएगा बेटा B। ਇੱਥੇ ਮਿਸਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਹੈ, sun नहीं है ਇੱਥੇ, snell। snell was the scientist, so snell's law, right option is B। next question है, what is the relation between radius of curvature R and focal length F? हेयर राइट आंसर इज F इज इक्वल टू R/2। आप सारिਆਂ ਨੂੰ पता ही है, फोकल लेंथ इज हाफ द रेडियस, विच इज़ नॉट अ सोर्स ऑफ बायोमास। क्वेश्चन नंबर 14 है, सो इसका सही आंसर है बेटा न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी। क्वेश्चन नंबर 15, द मेन कंपोनेंट ऑफ बायोगैस इज, यस, मीथेन। मीथेन इज द राइट आंसर। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग फॉर्म्स अ फूड चेन? ਇੱਥੇ ਚਾਰ ऑप्शंस ने बेटा, ग्रास, ग्रास ਨੂੰ ਵੀਟ नहीं ਖਾਂਦਾ, पहला ऑप्शन गलत हो गया। ग्रास, गोट एंड मैन, ये ऑप्शन हो सकता है, बट आप बाकी दो चेक कर लिए, गोट, काओ, एलीफेंट, ये भी गलत हो गया बेटा, क्योंकि गोट और काओ दोनों हर्बीवोर्स होंगे ने, एक दूजे ਨੂੰ नहीं खाते। ग्रास, गोट, फिश, ये भी गलत है बेटा, फिश गोट ਨੂੰ नहीं खाती। सो फूड चेन किते भी कंप्लीट नहीं हो रही एक्सेप्ट ऑप्शन बी, सो बी इज़ द राइट आंसर। लास्ट 17th क्वेश्चन, टिहरी डैम इज़ बिल्ट ऑन विच रिवर? हाँ जी, इसका सही आंसर है बेटा गंगा रिवर। नाउ वी विल स्टार्ट विद पार्ट बी। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, वाई इज मैग्नीशियम रिबन क्लीनड बिफोर बर्निंग इन एयर? आंसर इज मैग्नीशियम रिबन शुड बी क्लीनड बिफोर बर्निंग टू रिमूव द प्रोटेक्टिव लेयर ऑफ बेसिक मैग्नीशियम कार्बोनेट फ्रॉम इट्स surface. Question is, why sour things should not be kept in brass and copper utensils? You will write beta, curds and other sour substances contain acids which react with the metal surface of brass and copper vessels to produce toxic compounds which are unfit for consumption. So, we should not store sour substances in brass or copper vessels. Question number 20. The answer is, when soap is added to hard water, the soluble calcium and magnesium salts present in it react with the soap to give insoluble calcium salt of soap, which produces the scum. The formula is written here. C17H35COONA, that is, soap reacts with calcium chloride to form the scum and salt. Next question. Question number 21. Which criteria did Mendeleev adopt for preparing the periodic table? The answer is that Mendeleev's periodic table, it is based upon Mendeleev's periodic law, which predicts that the properties of elements are the periodic classification or function of their atomic masses. That means we can say Mendeleev's periodic table was based on increasing atomic masses. Second point you have to write is, the formula of hydrides and oxides formed by an element were treated as one of the basic properties of an element for its classification. Chemical coordination is brought about by chemical messengers called hormones. They are secreted by endocrine glands or the ductless glands. The hormones are carried by the blood to the site of action. The hormones are consumed during their action. Hormones provide wide-ranging changes. Sex chromosomes determine the sex in human beings. In males, there are 44 plus XY chromosomes, whereas in females, there are 44 plus XX chromosomes. Here, X and Y chromosomes determine sex in the human beings. Two types of gametes are formed in the male, X and Y in the ratio 50-50. In females, only one type of gametes are formed, that is X chromosomes. The females are homogametic. If a male gamete having Y chromosome undergoes fusion with the female gamete having X chromosome, then the zygote will have XY chromosomes, and this gives rise to a male child. If a male gamete having X chromosome undergoes fusion with the female gamete having X chromosome, then the zygote will be having XX chromosome, and this gives rise to a female child. Question number 24. Define principal focus and focal length of a concave mirror. Principal focus is a point on the principal axis of a concave mirror where rays parallel to the principal axis meet after reflection from the mirror. And focal length can be defined as the distance between the pole and the principal focus of the mirror. Question number. Retina is the third layer of the eye and acts as a screen for the image of the object we see. Iris. It regulates the amount of light entering the eye with the help of the involuntary muscles. Next, question number 26 is, explain the rule of Maxwell's thumb rule. Here you have to draw the diagram also, and you have to write in detail. Right hand thumb rule, it determines the direction of magnetic field produced around a straight conductor carrying current. If a current carrying conductor is imagined to be held in right hand between the thumb and palm such that the thumb points in the direction of current, then the curling fingers of hand show the direction of magnetic field. If current flows in a conductor in the downward direction, then the direction of magnetic field will be clockwise. It is used to find the direction of force of motion of conductor. Next question, what are the disadvantages of fossil fuels? You have to write beta, the following are the main disadvantages of fossil fuels. There are limited reserves of fossil fuels which could exhaust in a short time. Second point you can write, fossil fuels on burning release toxic gases such as carbon dioxide, nitrogen and sulfur dioxide and therefore cause pollution. Fossil fuels on burning give carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, which produce greenhouse effect, as a result of which temperature of earth is increasing. And the last is the released gas on combustion fossil fuel become cause of acid rains. Next question is, what is called a good fuel? Here you have to write the characteristics of a good fuel. It should be available easily, burn easily, it should not produce any smoke or leave any residue, it should be economical cost wise, causing no pollution, having low ignition temperature, easy to be stored, and produce no hazardous waste, and burn at controllable rate. Question number 29 is, if we kill all the organisms at a tropic level, then what will be the tropic level? The answer is, if we kill all organisms in one tropic level, imbalance will be created in the food chain. The population of organisms in previous level will increase. If we kill population of frogs in the following food chain, the population of insects will increase to a great level, and in turn they will damage the green plants. Third point you can write is, the population of organisms in the next tropic level will also increase. Part B is finished now. We have to start with part C. This part carries 8 questions of 3 marks each. First question is, what is oxidation and reduction? Identify the oxidized and reduced substances in the following equation. Equation given here is CuO plus H2 gives Cu, that is copper, and water, H2O. So you have to first write the definition of oxygen and then reduction, and then with this example only you have to point out or write where oxidation is taking place and where reduction is taking place. You can see on the screen I have written definition. A chemical reaction in which a substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen is called oxidation, and vice versa is the case with reduction. A chemical reaction in which a substance loses oxygen or gains hydrogen is called reduction reaction. Question number 31 is, what do you understand by homologous series? Write 2 qualities of it and name the first 2 members of alkene series. Here, first of all, write the definition. A series of compounds having similar structural formulae, same functional group, and hence similar chemical properties is called a homologous series. In a homologous series, any 2 adjacent members usually differ by CH2 unit in their molecular formulae. 2 members of alkene group. So first member of alkene group is ethene and second is propene. Next question is, how is the electronic order of elements related to the position of the element in the modern periodic table? Here you can write, beta, the electronic configuration of an atom is related to its position in the modern periodic table in such a way that atoms having the same number of electrons in their outermost shell are placed in the same group. The number of electrons present in the outermost shell indicates the group number of that element, and the outermost shell number indicates the period of the element. When moving from left to right in a period, the number of electrons in a valence shell increases by 1 unit as the atomic number increases by 1 unit. Next question, what are the different pathways for obtaining energy from the oxidation of glucose in living beings? Now, as you can see on the screen, glucose is first broken down in the cell cytoplasm into 3 carbon molecule called pyruvate. Pyruvate is further broken down in the following ways to provide energy. So as you can see in the diagram, pyruvate can be broken down in 3 ways: in the presence of oxygen, in the lack of oxygen, and in the absence of oxygen. Every time the product is different, but with that product energy is being released. You can learn this flowchart. Next question is, show the structure of a neuron and describe its function. The nerve cell or the neuron is the basic unit of communication. It is particularly long. It has a nucleus surrounded by cytoplasm. Many small branches called dendrites emerge from the cell body. One of these branches is longer. It is called axon. It takes messages away from the cell. No nerve cell is directly connected to another nerve cell. There is some empty space between them in which there is close conduction. It is called synapse. If we have pain in the foot, then the information about it is received by the dendrite of the nerve cell located in the foot. The nerve cell converts it into an electrical signal. The electrical signal travels through the nerve and the synapse and finally reaches the brain. The brain receives the messages and responds to it. The motor nerve transmits the response to the muscles of the foot, and the muscles of the foot make the appropriate response. Nerve cells are basically of three types: sensory neurons, motor neurons, and multipolar neurons. Next, question number 35. An object is kept at a distance of 10 cm from a convex mirror of focal length 15 cm. Find the position and nature of the image. Now, as you can see on the screen, here it is a convex mirror. So, focal length will be plus 15 cm and object is at a distance of 10, which will be u is equal to minus 10. So we will use the formula 1 over v plus 1 over u is equal to 1 over f, and we get a value of v is 6 centimeter. So we can write here the image formed will be at 6 centimeter from the mirror. Next question, with the help of a labeled diagram, explain the principle and working of an electric motor. As you can see on the screen, beta, you have to write a detailed answer about the principle and working of the electric motor with the diagram. Next question is question number 37. State the advantages and disadvantages of using solar cooker. So first we will write advantages of a solar cooker. First one, there is no cost of fuel. Second, it is environment friendly and there is no residue or ash left. Third point is cooking is hygienic and nutritious. But there are some disadvantages of solar cooker also. First one is cooking is very slow, and second, it cannot be used at all the times, especially on a rainy day. A solar cooker can perform only limited functions. And the last limitation, or we can say disadvantage, is solar cookers have limited utility at the place where sunlight is less, or as in polar regions, or where there is too much rain. Section C is finished. Now we will start with section number D. It contains 3 questions carrying 5 marks each. You have internal choice in this section also. So first question is question number 38. Differentiate between metals and non-metals on the basis of their chemical properties. Because it is particularly asked in the question that you have to differentiate on the basis of chemical properties. So you have to learn this table as it is. Next question for choice in this part is explain the chemical reaction that takes place when zinc is added to iron sulfate solution, and second part of it is what are amphoteric oxides. Give example. Zinc being more reactive than iron, when zinc is added to a solution of iron sulfate, iron is removed from the solution and green color of the iron sulfate fades. So the reaction will be Zn plus FeSO4 gives Fe plus ZnSO4. Second part of this question, amphoteric oxides. Those metal oxides which show both acidic and basic character are called amphoteric oxide. Example, aluminium oxide and zinc oxide. Reactions are already written here, you can note down. Question number 39 is what is the difference between pollination and fertilization? And B part, what are the advantages of asexual reproduction in the competition of sexual reproduction? So you can write these points. First is pollination is the process of transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma, and it is of 2 types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. Whereas in fertilization, we can write 2 points. Fertilization is the fusion of male and female gametes. It is of 2 types, internal and external. Part B, sexual reproduction is advantageous over asexual reproduction due to the following reasons. Sexual reproduction takes place by fertilization of male and female gametes obtained from male and female, as these two are derived from different animals. So the offspring have the diversity of characteristics. Second point is new pairs of chromosomes are formed by sexual reproduction. This gives new dimensions to the direction of evolution. This increases the chances of developing the best qualities in living beings. Now the question of internal choice in question number 39 is draw a labeled diagram of a longitudinal section of a flower and how does the fetus get nutrition from the mother's body. As you can see on the screen, I have drawn a longitudinal section of the flower and labeled all its parts. If you label in this manner, you will get full marks. Next is, how does the embryo get nourishment? Embryo gets nourishment from blood of the mother. Inside the uterus, the outer tissue surrounding the embryo develops finger-like projection called villi. These villi are surrounded by uterine tissue and maternal blood. Also, there is a special tissue called the placenta, which is embedded in the uterine wall. The embryo receives the oxygen and nutrients from the mother's blood via placenta. The waste material produced by the embryo are also removed through the placenta. Last question, what is Ohm's law? Explain by drawing a picture and find the resistance from the graph. And the choice question is, on what factors does resistance and resistivity depend? What will be the maximum and minimum resistance when 4 ohm, 8 ohm, 12 ohm and 24 ohm resistors are connected? Ohm's law. It states that the current passing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends, provided the temperature and other physical conditions remain unchanged. That means we have to write I is directly proportional to V, or V is directly proportional to I. Sign of proportionality is displaced by R, where R is the constant of proportionality called resistance. Resistance is the property of a conductor to oppose the flow of current. Resistance depends upon the nature of the conductor, its temperature, and its dimensions like length and area. Now the experimental verification of Ohm's law. For this, you have to do the calculations. We have to put R is equal to delta V over delta I. So we will calculate it from the values given in the graph. Now the resistance of a conductor depends upon, first is length. We will write R is directly proportional to L. Then area of the conductor, R is inversely proportional to area. R is equal to 1 over A. Combining 1 and 2, we get R is directly proportional to L upon A, where directly proportional sign is replaced by rho. Rho is a constant called resistivity or specific resistance of the conductor. L depends upon the nature of the conductor and its temperature. From third equation, we get rho is equal to R into A over L. SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Last one is the numerical, where we have to calculate the maximum and minimum resistance. So as we all know, when we connect all the resistors in series, we get maximum resistance, and when we connect them in parallel, we get minimum resistance. So first of all, we will put the resistance in series formula. R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4, and the value comes out to be 48 ohm. For lowest resistance, 1 upon R is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3 plus 1 upon R4. After calculation, we get R is equal to 2 ohm. With this, we finish with the pre-board question paper of January 2023. Hope this video will be helpful to you. Do subscribe my channel for informative videos of science related to board classes. Thanks for watching.